It's Aariaa. Welcome to TLC Next Reveal. In a surprise tweet that nobody saw coming, Meri Brown has legally wedded Henry William, leaving fans speechless. And in tears, Kody Brown as season 19 of Sister Wives begins this Thursday's surprise wedding. Bombshell is taking the Brown family straight for the proverbial gut. What does it mean for Meri, and how's Kody coping with the heartbreak? Let's get into all the juicy details in a surprise tweet twist that has created a stir in the world of reality television. Meri Brown, an original cast member of TLC's long-running show Sister Wives, has finally gotten married to Henry William. This occasion, announced by Inside photographer, produced confirmation and quotes, is a new milestone for Meri's life after years of emotional roller coaster rides with her former spiritual husband Kody Brown. The wedding, romantic but elegant, took place in a private ceremony with intimate friends and family, but it caused shockwaves within the Brown household and the entire Sister Wives fan base. Meri's new husband, Henry William, is a Utah entrepreneur with no prior association with reality television. So this union is even more intriguing to fans who have, along with Meri's bumpy ride for the last 10 years. Henry, with his laid-back nature and philanthropic activities, is said to have been a soothing, reassuring figure in Meri's life, particularly as she left the emotional roller coaster that was her relationship with Kody Brown, the patriarch who had once managed relationships with 4 women under the guise of polygamy, was said to have been left reeling by the wedding news. According to sources close to the family, Kody was heard sobbing a couple of minutes upon learning of Meri's wedding. Those closest to him say he is grappling with a mix of regret, sadness, and shock, while their spiritual marriage had long since been dissolved, and Meri had legally split from the family years earlier, while Meri Brown and Janelle Brown both publicly dissolved their decades-long marriages to Kody Brown. In 2022, the couple are still attempting to untangle the splitting of their joint belongings with their ex on their TLC show. Makes me sick thinking that I have to bring a lawyer into this. But my communication is falling on deaf ears, Meri said in a confessional on the April 27th episode of Sister Wives. She later told Janelle, "I'm afraid of the wrath that we're going to get." Meri, who shares 27-year-old Leon with Kody, believes her ex-husband was purposely avoiding the topic of their property, but stated he hoped she and Janelle could get together with Kody and his last remaining wife, Robyn Brown. Him and Robyn and I and Janelle, if we could just have a conversation and be like, this is fair. We invested this money into the family. That was for the family. And now it's only right that we get this. Meri continued on the episode, "Kody and Robyn don't just get to reap the benefits of things that I put into. They don't get to keep it all, though." Kody, who also broke up with ex-wife Christine Brown in 2021, after 25 years of marriage, sees Meri and Janelle's investment in their relationship differently. "They just keep whining about something they invested in the family," the 56-year-old said on the show. "Everyone did that. Robyn's money from her house paid off family debts. You get in this area with family, and you're working together, and everybody's making sacrifices. And it was tight." He went on, "Somebody paid this and somebody paid that. We're all working together, and then you want to split up. Well, you guys are all going. So what, you want me to take what Robyn has and take from that? The only things I have are what were Robyn's things." But besides the arguments, Janelle, who has 6 kids, with Kody, cited a double standard that she believes would stop the group's squabbling if he were the gentleman and all those things he used to preach to our boys. She said, "Meri, he would be fair." Here Meri relates that Kody gave her hope for the marriage. Kody Brown maintained he was prepared to separate himself from first wife Meri Brown soon after their 1990 wedding, but he led me to believe that would do it by stating, "Oh, Meri, when we move to Flagstaff, this will be a great time for us to start over." Meri revealed during the September 15th debut in speaking about their move in 2018, such as he had made me believe things like that. This is what he's done for many, many years. Her biggest grievance she had was that he would not communicate and how he really felt and what he really wanted or what he really did not want, and the story that he's told for all these years. And although Kody did acknowledge that there possibly were mixed messages, there was only because, as he started working on the things. I'm like, why would I do this? He said, I would not court and date her now. Either way, Meri's friends were thrilled when she finally pulled the plug back in early 2023. They're like, okay, we're here for you. We're supporting you. And it's about damn time, she admitted. Blinders off, she now thinks he had been trying to make her walk away for years by having him tell her he didn't love her. Because if he can make me walk away, and I do, then he's not the bad guy. Because he didn't walk away, Kody wanted to sell Coyote Pass years after the family purchased the 14-acre property that they are going to construct on Flagstaff, Arizona. Kody confessed on season opener that he was prepared to let the dream perish unable to build without shelling out the whole $820,000 cost he claimed to still married wife Robyn Brown. I'd near about prefer to scratch it or sell it and then just begin again elsewhere. As for Robyn, I can't discuss that, she answered. That is so not where I'm at. Janelle quit Kody due to this cause, while second wife Janelle Brown previously expressed to E! News, we just kind of started to grow apart. Finally, it was Kody's errors as a parent to a few of their children that caused her to resign. The big spark for me was when his relationship broke down with my children and he did not seem to be inclined to move heaven and earth to do the right thing, commented the mother to Logan Brown, Madison Brown, Brush Hunter, Brown, Garrison Brown, Gabriel Brown, and Savannah Brown, and I was like, okay, that was what really held me back here. Even when Kody mentioned reconciling on the November 3rd show, it was a definite no for Janelle. I don't know how I would ever be able to get past him and have him not be in a relationship with my children. She said, no, I'm gonna always choose my kids. Kody feels he's been excommunicated by his own family. That was the excuse Kody used for not doing better to fix the fissures he was experiencing with some of his adult kids. I no longer belong in the family. He griped on the September 15th show as he reminded that he was still and continued to be completely married to Robyn and parenting their 5 children together: Dayton Brown, Aariaa Brown, Brianna Brown, Solomon Brown, and Aariaa Brown. He added, and then I have some relationship with some of the other kids, and it's infrequent. And so I'm like, what do I do with all of this? It doesn't feel like a family. Robyn and Kody's marriage was on shaky ground, even though they were genuinely monogamous for the first time in their 14-year marriage. We're probably doing the worst we've ever done in our marriage, Robyn confessed on season 19 premiere. It's been tough between us. He doesn't know if he should blame himself or one of the other wives Kody's feeling lots of rejection, and so I think he's kind of staring at me going, are you gonna reject me too? Because of this, she stated, I'm on my toes. I'm having to always double check that he is not undermining our relationship. The most difficult portion she condensed. There's no reality to help with the idea that I'm still wed to a man who's experiencing divorces. Kody, in the meantime, was experiencing an identity crisis, sharing I can't look myself in the mirror and proclaim, hey dude, I love you. For Robyn, it was difficult to witness her ex-sister wives embrace their new chapter. They're all on to bigger things, she wrote on the October 27th show. I feel like the doofus left behind. Maddie's not speaking to her. Dad put Janelle's eldest daughter, Madison, on Kody's list of kids with whom he does not have a current relationship. I know Maddie hasn't spoken to her dad. Janelle explained on the premiere. He hasn't called. She hasn't called him. And she doesn't hang with Robyn. She's really offed both of them. At issue, said Janelle, is Kody half hanging with Maddie's kids, Axel, Evangeline, and Josephine. She doesn't really want him to have any type of contact unless he can commit to it. As a result, Janelle came forward in the September 22nd episode. Kody basically cut off contact with Maddie and her husband, Caleb Brush, when the family started to really disintegrate with Kody. Not visiting or calling Maddie has been mama have a bear to an extreme, to be added, Janelle. She has felt like until he can be consistent and show up and not be dramatic, that she occurs like it is going to be fine if they don't have any idea about him. And while Robyn noted that she has been encouraging Kody to call and make peace, she said, I believe the kid ought to be doing the same thing too for now. Though Kody doesn't seem to be ready to mend the rift, griping that every time he spoke with his daughter, it was a fish for gossip, and I was sick of it. Kody stated that he never loved Meri while enjoying together on their 32nd anniversary. He was talking about the fact that he never loved me, and he felt such as if he needed to marry me. Meri wrote in an interview with her friend Brandy during the September 15th premiere, and I said to him, I said, Kody, I said, I know you cared about me. And if he didn't, the mom to Leon Brown said in a confession, why did he ever imply when one young woman encounters one young man, why would he choose to come and marry her and just affirm and enforce love for her when he didn't love her? She thought, how cruel is that to pick me out of a crowd and just be like, I pick you to try to force myself to love for the next 32 years. Kody's response he made in his own confession. Oh, Meri has her little accusations. Now fine, she can say whatever she wants. I'm not going to comment on it. Even though he would assert that they never had a honeymoon period, this marriage was strained throughout the entire marriage. He insisted on the October 20th incident. And how would I know that? 'Cause I had such a better relationship with Janelle, with Christine, with Robyn. He confessed that he ought to have ended the relationship 25 years ago, but he remained in fear, observing, leadership will never let you marry again if you're ditching wives. Janelle threatened to sue Kody, although she was not certain on whether she'd prefer to develop on Coyote Pass or just sell it off. Step 1 was paying off Arizona property, and with Kody not wanting to talk to her about the situation, I think I'm gonna have to lawyer up, she said to former sister wife Kody Brown on the September 22nd episode, because I think that's the only way I'm ever gonna get any kind of decision out of him. Him and Janelle concluded that without a legal marriage to Kody, I don't really have any legal rights to make any kind of claim on Kody's property. As she said, it's not like I'm just calling a lawyer and informing me that I need to divorce this person. No, it's a mess because there is no legal marriage. Kody's allegedly shared confidential information with his other wives. Kody's motive for not discussing their property in Arizona with Janelle is that he no longer trusted her. We will pay off the property when the time comes, he insisted in a confessional during the September 22nd episode. And I'm not telling you any information about what I'm doing or whatnot, because I'm tired of sharing information that gets fed through the rumor mill of our dysfunctional family. A little bit of pot calling the kettle black, Janelle replied during her own interview. He leaks like a sieve, she explained. He shared information with me regarding his other relationships and his other wives that I was like, I don't think you're supposed to be sharing that family money paid for Robyn's home. When the family love was still growing and not fragmenting, they used to save up their money together. We would tap into all of the resources to favor one. Then we would all lend support to the other person. Janelle spoke about on the September 22nd program. That's the way it always was, up until the last 10 years or so. And suddenly, it's been all about my estate, and everyone needs their own estate. So when Robyn required a house in Arizona, they all pitched in and bought her $1.65 million 5-bedroom spread, which was listed for sale this last August. The idea was that it would be an asset for the family, Robyn said. But when Janelle suggested that they all sign the mortgage, she was brushed off. Kody was all, no, we have to protect Robyn's estate. Janelle recalled, so now that she's taking herself out of the family, Janelle continued, she'd like her share of the Coyote Pass proceeds, and I'd like to get some of the money I put money into Robyn's house. But that could be a tough sell. We were in business together for so long, Robyn said, and with Janelle saying she's owed money by them, Robyn added, it's like, how do you figure that out? It's so confusing. Janelle questioned how Kody kept the family books, complaining the family couldn't pay off. Coyote Pass, Janelle said, Kody claimed he had all these other debts, and yet she's watched him acquire other assets, like trailers and home decor. I see all the art on their walls, she said of Robyn and Kody's home. I see all these things, and that's okay. I have money and I've spent it on things too. And while Janelle conceded she didn't know how Kody and Robyn handled money, I always used to be so surprised at how nice her backyard was. It was completely done, and there was always like stuff at her house, and I was like, wow. Bottom line, she said he doesn't put what I want or what I need first. And that issue eventually wore her down. I think after a while I started to see it, and my kids were getting really upset about it. Like my older kids, like what the heck Mom Robyn's attitude was. However, that she was very stingy with her finances after her first marriage dissolved. I was not so good with money, she said on the September 22nd episode when I was younger. I had tough times, and then I learned through my divorce how to budget myself extremely well. As for her fellow sister wife, she said, you just must have had a different priority of where your money was gonna go than I did, that's all. Janelle and Christine view their children as the center group of the family. Right now, Janelle recognized in the September 22nd episode when she and Christine mom to Aspen Brown, Michael T. Brown, Padron Pedon Brown, Gwen Brown, Isabel Brown, and Truly Brown reunite with their broods. There is no contact really with Meri or Robyn or Kody. I don't really see that's gonna change much. Kody believes his wives leaving ruined his relationship with the children. Speaking of their setup with 4 homes on one cul-de-sac while they lived in Las Vegas, highlight of my life, Kody said everything was fine, and Maddie and Caleb were present, and it was great having them present. And I loved Caleb, he was definitely like family. But things started falling apart in Arizona as they quarreled over coronavirus-related issues. Then when his marriages fell apart, he clarified that his relationships with the children went along just tainted all these relationships to go bitter. But Christine claimed that issues were existing well before she claimed she was walking out late 2021. All the children who were frustrated way before I walked out. She commented during the September 22nd show, my leaving didn't change his kids' relationship with him. Kody can mend his relationships with his kids, although it'll definitely take some effort. I'm so angry at the way I've been treated that I haven't gotten past that, Kody replied. Here's the thing is, I'm not gonna take blame for things which my wife or ex-wife is sitting there telling them that I did. I hope one day will come when the contempt will die down. We will be able to move forward and forgive and love once again. Kody said his marriage with Meri was awful. Kody suggested he and Meri didn't truly know each other very well when they married both spiritually and legally at the age of 21 and 19 respectively. When we were married, she was very different. And I think just, there's some baggage Meri had that I didn't know about Kody. Described initially, I thought I could live with it, demanding everything to be a struggle. He said I cannot exist in a world where she is always upset with me, but he could not let go of a man in plural marriage. Instructed Kody that if he wished to be faithful and within the religion, he wouldn't be able to request a divorce. It doesn't work, so I couldn't get out of that relationship. On the same occasion, I didn't want specifically out of the relationship. I wanted to know if we could save and mend it. So the mixed messages he affirmed of Meri, anticipating that they would sort everything. But whenever they were together, went Kody. She wasn't nice. She wasn't fun. She wasn't kind. She wasn't interesting. I'm trying to be curious with her, and I'm bored, to be honest. He added he could see why Meri felt abandoned. But I didn't kick me out. Christine, Janelle, and Meri all decided to have me leave the home. Kody did not concur with Meri asking for a spiritual divorce, but Janelle and Christine did not feel that they had to divorce Kody because their marriage had never been legal. Meri asked their church for guidance on a formal breakup, known as a release, in late 2022, when all four of us women married Kody. It was in our church, she explained on the September 22nd episode. Obviously, we can't all be legally wedded, but it was what we called a covenant. So I think it's best to stop that because we're not seeking out any type of marriage. And I don't want to be like sealed to him for forever if he doesn't want me. And I'm at a place that let's just keep this completely in the separate. Kody was against the idea. She added, not wanting to embrace the power of the church leaders. The hurt was done so badly that we're not going to repair things. No matter what, Kody made clear of his stance. And so however accountable we are before God, I don't want to be accountable before this church and all their crap. So I'm going to let Meri go and let her do her thing. Because if I'm angry at her, it becomes a battle. And I needed her just to leave alone. Because it just took forever for her to finally realize. It's been done and over for years. Some of Kody's children aren't speaking to each other. A text message that heated up over a 2021 holiday gift exchange turned particularly ugly for the 18 Brown children. It all went wrong. It all went south. Told Christine, Kody, and Robyn and their kids were on the other side, and they did not want anything to do with Janelle, me, our kids. And there was a break that happened after this text conversation. Robyn's side was that her 3 older kids felt the conversation was emotionally unsafe and said they needed to step back from the relationship. But it was never anything about, we never want to see you again. We don't want to have anything to do with you. She maintained that it was like, hey, this got yucky for his part. Gabriel wishes that they could get back together with each other. The thing that I desire most is to just be in a relationship with Robyn's children. Again, he admitted in the October 13th middle school episode, Aariaa was my favorite person to be around, and in high school I would always try to hit Dayton up. But I don't think so, for a relationship with Dad and Robyn's children never really felt like part of the family. I have been told directly several situations by a number of other people that I was not accepted. Aariaa kept trying to get to me to join the family when her mom wedded Kody in 2010, that I was not their sister, that they did not consider or perceive me as one. And her sister said she felt the parents could have done a better job with, uniting us as a family, and it never quite happened. But Christine doesn't understand how they could have spread their arms any wider. Robyn's children and Robyn were invited to all of her. She insisted I would just say, just come in and come into the house at any time that you wish. Meanwhile, she said her daughter Isabel Brown was very close to Robyn's kids. And Michael T. Brown Padron even stayed with them for a while. There were rough times, and my kids were frustrated. But they always considered Robyn's kids their siblings just the same. Janelle would do plural marriage again. Kody wouldn't, gushing about the independence she was given. Janelle explained plural marriage when it's going well. You have this amazing family system that you're a part of, a community that you're attached to. You have a husband and you have this great relationship with him, and you have everything just so. And then I have all of my freedom. So to me, plural marriage really was a great setup, Kody, but wouldn't say I do, again, to polygamy. kills emotional intimacy. He opined on the December 1st show, puts everyone on the defensive, and I really crave an emotionally open, intimate relationship with a woman, and you're not gonna find that. In polygamy, Kody withdrew from Janelle years ago to hear Janelle tell the story. Kody found it difficult to divide his love after the family left Las Vegas for Arizona in 2018 when he moved to Flagstaff. Kody said it was a lot easier to be separated, she said on the September 29th show. A few times I had to remind him that he had to come to my house, announcing he tried to plea out of it. Because he was tired, she said, "I'm really exhausted." I'm like, "Well, you can sleep in my house as much as you can sleep in Robyn's house." Robyn's detailing the isolation her group felt with Robyn Janelle asserted, "My children were reprimanded if they would open Robyn's refrigerator." For Christine's kids, but the issue was that they knew Robyn and their father were in a relationship, and he wasn't present with us, and Robyn explained her crew definitely felt the breakup. Meri across the board was very welcoming to my kids, but the rest of the family just couldn't accept my kids. She revealed on the September 29th episode, all we wanted to do was part of this family, but Gabriel would say that he and his siblings did everything in their power to include them in the family. I think Robyn most definitely does have a victim complex, he said on the show of October 13th. I mean, to be blunt, and I don't blame her for it necessarily. I think that different people do, devise different strategies to keep themselves going adrift. But he continued, if she really believes that we were mistreating her or her kids in any way while she was getting pampered by dad, and we were always attempting to try to work things out with her kids, if she really believes that, then there is zero chance of me having a relationship with Robyn again. Janelle questioned Robyn and Kody's parenting. Having their dad shuffle between 4 homes did take a toll on Kody's 18 kids, he outlined during the September 29th episode, describing the time that his and Robyn's youngest, Aariaa, who was born in January 2016, gripped his leg as he was trying to leave. I had to tell her, there's another wife that needs me, another mommy. I have other kids who need to see me, Kody said, and she's just along for the ride, on my leg sobbing, "Don't leave me, Daddy, don't leave me." And I'm thinking, golly, man, this is hard. Too bad that's just a fact of plural marriage required Janelle from the beginning. She informed her children that their father will not be around forever. I always felt like there was gonna be a time. Kody and Robyn handled things with her kids badly. He could only be away for 3 or 4 days because Aariaa just becomes so depressed or something. I'm like, I think that was poor parenting throughout history of family. The rest of the kids did it, and they're all fine. They're well-adjusted adults. Michael T. was super close with Robyn, one of the only Brown kids who was still close with both Robyn and Kody, and Christine and Janelle, mom of 3. Michael T. was the peacemaker between Kody's divorces to Robyn since the day she became a member of the Brown family. Michael T. even invited her to be in attendance for the November 2022 twin birth of her son Archer and daughter Ace. When Robyn first became a member of the family, I was trying to figure out who I am, and she made me feel special, and she made me feel noticed, Michael T. explained on the September 29th episode. Robyn was there for me when I needed someone. She was there for me when I needed someone to hear me, to love me, and her mom. Christine couldn't have been more pleased when Robyn became a part of the family, and it was apparent her and Michael T. had a great relationship. It was everything I could have ever imagined Christine shared. No, the 6th of October experience when I was so thrilled to have a plural family. I was hoping that my children would have a great relationship with other mothers. One of Kody's children said he brainwashed them. Kody feels that it's not just his wives who took him away from their lives. They're actively keeping me out of their lives to take revenge on me for something I didn't do, he explained during the October 6th episodes. sharing his side of things about his estrangement from a number of his older children. I am only guilty of not falling deeply in love with their mothers more. He continued, think his ex-wives are to blame kinda for this imbalance with regards to my children, particularly in my mind because of C-Talk. He said there's this whirlpool of disappointment because the family broke up or whatever, and it's like, well, blame dad. Dad messed up. But while he can accept some of that blame, he takes umbrance with the name-calling, demonstrating in particular that he was struggling to contact Hunter Maddie, and Gabriel Kody told us that one of his kids responded to a text stating, "You are a piece of trash. I would never speak to you again anyway." In another situation, he told cameras, I've had one of my kids just say, "You're an a-hole. I'm never talking to you again. You played me and you brainwashed me. And it's that poison he is not going to cope with. I'm not going to make contact forever." He said nothing. He thinks his adults should be better at fixing things. I will put the effort in, but somebody else is going to have to take the receiving end of that and put some effort in. Also, Robyn was attempting to appreciate Kody as a mom. For Robyn, seeing Kody's distance from his adult children hit way too close to home. When I was a little girl, my parents got divorced. She said on the October 6th show, he lived with one wife in another city, and then my mom by herself. I remember I had to deal with my biological father yelling at me, telling me what happened, why all he did was just make a bunch of lame apologies for not being there with me when I was a child, and it just sucked. So, no, she wasn't going to let Kody hurt feelings keep him from attempting. I'm having trouble not feeling like losing respect for you a little bit, she confessed during their hot-headed on-camera rant that took place in late 2022. And although Kody conceded he may be doing more to mend his relationship with his kids, he insisted he needs to mend his heart first, saying he thinks some of his kids are plotting against me. He conceded, I'm so angry about what's happened that if I talk to my children, I'm afraid they'll spur me with a charge. I'm too quick-tempered right now. I'll just cause more harm. Kody went years without seeing his grandchildren, though the majority of the family was on hand when Janelle and Kody's eldest Logan wed, now spouse Michelle Petty, in October 2022. They weren't precisely overflowing with love. You saw Madison takes her kids and keeps them from me, Kody complained to Robyn on the October 6th show with reference to his daughter not having told him she was having her third baby girl, Josephine, who was born in February of 2023. She never told me she was expecting. Honestly, Maddie doesn't tell her dad many things, with the two barely communicating. Actually, Maddie does not have anything to do with him. Janelle explained of how her daughter avoided Kody on the wedding. She is very protective of her children. Kody has not been around since Evie was born, and Evie is 3.5, and she did not want him to just drop by and be like, oh, I'm your grandpa, and then you say what, who is this guy? Kody's take its unrealistic expectation of grandparents to be in their grandchildren's lives every second. He said, mentioning Maddie's life in North Carolina, especially if you take your children to a whole different coast. I have a life and work in Flagstaff. Kody wanted his children to apologize to Robyn, and while it's pretty clear that Kody and his grown children have very different views of their continued estrangement, one point of contention is his expecting some sort of Maya once the CO scare was past, and we all returned to our usual lives. We still couldn't make up as a family because Kody believed the boys were in debt to him, and Robyn, an apology, especially to Robyn Janelle, testified about her sons on the October 13th show, and then basically became this, well, they just need to come and talk to me. Kody's issue, Janelle continued, was that he believed his children had not been loyal to him, and the most valuable member of this family who's put her heart and soul on the line has been disrespected, or some bulls to that. She put it into perspective, and I'm like, whatever. Kody, yeah, whatever. Gabriel had a similar position, elucidating one argument with his father. He kept putting it like I owed him an apology. He told Janelle finally. I was just like, hey, unless you're completely ready to be in a relationship and sort things out, then we are not going to be discussing anymore. He came back a day or two after that and sent me a text. He's like, hey, I've been considering what you've been telling me. I forgive you. Please forgive me. I was like, forgive me for what? Kody only sees one of Janelle's kids out of the 6 kids that Kody has with Janelle. He only sees his youngest, Savannah. It's not frequently, but every other couple months he'll call and they'll go out. Janelle laid out in the October 13th episode. The other kids don't really have much of any kind of relationship with him. As for Savannah, who graduated from high school in 2023, she knows her 4 older brothers have filled that father figure gap. The teen already admitting to Janelle that she'd ask her siblings to walk her down the aisle someday. I've talked to Savannah about it, and she's like, look, I just have come to realize that this is who he is. Elaborated Janelle. He's gonna be like that dad who will arrive, and we have such a good time, and then he's gone. I can just go meet him where he is. It's all right, Janelle, though. Isn't so? Understanding I'm just so frustrated with Kody. She sighed. Look, I've seen this happen. I have several women I've worked with in my years who divorced, and then the father just takes off with the kids. Gabe promised he'd never lay eyes on Kody again at the start of their father-son rivalry. Gabriel took it pretty badly because Kody was a guy who would take Gabriel with him on business trips, portrayed Janelle as saying Kody was an all-engaged dad until the finish of the last few years. And although Gabriel is kinda in the dark as to why he's been making his father, he said on the October 13th program, I told Dad that if he is not going to change and he is not going to be able to accept responsibility, then I just will never see him again. And I'm okay with that. As Janelle documented, he's at peace that his dad isn't in his life. And that is what I want for all of my kids. And I think that they're all coming around for his side. Kody seems also resigned to the state. I'm truly sorry that Gabriel feels that way. He talked in a confessional. I have contacted him a few times, only to be turned down. But it wasn't for lack of effort on my part. Kody was fearful Meri would speak ill of him. Meri could have been the last wife to leave Kody. But she officially divided their love in late 2022 by insisting in receiving what their church considers a release on grounds of abandonment. I know he doesn't like the use of the word, she said on the show of October 13th, because he feels that he did not abandon me. I think that he did abandon her. She feels he basically blew her off until she made the decision that she was going to leave so that he could say, my hands are clean. And Kody did not altogether say that he did have sort of a plan. I had moved on for a long time already, he told me in a confession. But let's just be honest here. I was afraid of what she would do if I ripped off that Band-Aid. It's because Meri was never loyal to me ever. That's what I've been upset about. It's just more of that reputation. Because when you're divorced, your reputation is tainted. Instead, accused Meri, it was hers that was being tarnished. It's sad, really, that Kody's talking about our marriage the way he's talking about it. She said, feels like the story has shifted with him. But the things that he's saying about me to them, and the others are assuming it is false. Christine knew Kody was not a good match. Years ago, years before Christina broke up with Kody, she realized they were not a good match on paper because of an exercise prescribed by their Las Vegas marriage and family counselor, mandated to create a list of characteristics she required in a husband. Christine recorded that she wanted to find a good communicator, someone who would be present in her and her children's lives, and someone who was attracted to her, and Kody wasn't any of the items on the list, she said on the October 20th show. I let him know the list, and he's like, I'm not any of those things for you. I told her, no, you're not the missive, was one of the reasons she knew so soon that now husband David Woolley was her person family, is most significant thing to him. She cooed of the widow dad of 8. He's had his own drywall company. He is known for being honest and true with people.